Sector is clear.
Give us everything we got! All wings.
I'm a Geonosis Clanker and I wanna be free, head of the CIS Army. No, but really, I'm Jazzy P, and today's a big day for Battlefront 2. The game mode that was originally known as Titan is now live and under the name of Capital Supremacy, which is a pretty neato conquest mode that also has dropped along with the long-awaited Infiltrator class and the not-so-awaited Dooku skin exquisite pajamas, which really didn't need to be in the game, but I'll talk about skins later. For now, we'll focus on Capital Supremacy and how it functions.
Our separatist friends are making themselves all cozy on Geonosis again. We identified some weak points on that separatist cruiser. And if there's one thing we love, it's weak points.
Capital Supremacy is the newly released game mode in Battlefront 2 that is in essence a hybrid of Conquest and Rush from Battlefield. The game starts off in this brand new area on Geonosis called Pipeline Junction West. I cannot stress enough the fact that it is on the west side. Anyway, what you'll be doing here is the conquest portion of the game, which is capturing any of 5 command posts to gain reinforcements to make a run on the enemy capital ship. To actually build up troops, you need to capture and hold at least 3 of the 5 command posts that may or may not be occupied by enemy troops. If it is, I can almost guarantee that there will be at least 1 or 2 infiltrators, depending on how far into the round you are. Speaking of troops, you will be allowed the full 20 players on each side with an additional 12 AI soldiers on each side, and the thing is that they actually do something. I've died to or mistaken AI clones for real people a few times. That's the level they're on. Another thing to them is that honestly, they're probably scarier than real people because they don't fear death. They really don't. They'll slap your shit really hard. It's not even funny. Maybe I'm just bad, I don't know. Moving on, once a team has 50 troops, 2 dropships will land on the battlefield. So check this shit out. If the Republic get 50 troops first, then the Republic gunships will land for the next phase, right? The transition phase is a little confusing at first, because I certainly have no fucking idea what I was doing. But it'll start to make sense once you actually start to walk up to them. Now, if you're a basic ass bitch, or hell, even a special unit, then you are given the option to enter the dropship, and I really recommend that you do, because once you do, you'll get more troops for the next phase, and trust me, you're going to want more troops. And something very helpful is that if you picked a special unit and you transition from ground to cruiser, you will have the same amount of battle points as you did before you picked that unit, plus whatever you earned as them, so that's some shit, my guy. And then you're treated to an animation of the dropship lifting off the ground and landing in the enemy void. Oh, sorry, that's a ship. It does that every time. You just gotta get used to it. Your next objective is to turn on one of 2 door controls. These take about as long as every other motherfucking door to open, so while I open this door, I like to sit and ponder the fact that door controls are for some reason a well-known inside joke amongst my friend group. Maybe a minute has gone by, and by now, if you haven't been shot in the face by a fucking blaster, then you've been given 2 more things to blow up. This specific objective has a lot of choke points, regardless of what ship you're on, so this can be a little strenuous. Say you're the attacking team. Say you've destroyed the objective. Well, if good for you, you just won the game. But what if you lost all your troops and you're not contesting? Well then, an animation plays of all your friends getting either arrested or executed, and you get put back on the ground to capture, hold, and defend. Command posts in the name of building up another 50 troops to eat at the enemy like Russia did in World War II. You'll also notice that whatever team successfully held off the enemy will be rewarded with 3 of the 5 command posts at the start of the ground phase. At this point, the game could go either way. You can invade the enemy, or the enemy could invade you. This is also the part of the game that could infinitely loop. When you do revisit a ship, however, that you've already made progress on, that progress will still be there, so don't angrily rip off your penis. Please don't. This first game that I played of this game mode, I went back and forth from my ship ground, their ship ground, my ship penis for about an hour and a half minimum. It's one of those game modes. It's fun, but after a while it does start to wear on you. But If you just got on for the day, it's pretty fun to play, and in all honesty, it's nothing what the fucking original Battlefront has done. Fucking nothing. But with the reputation that this game has built up, it's pretty great. There are instances where you'll have a full game, but it won't start, and while that's a real big kick in the dick, it's still a blast to play, don't get me wrong. There's a good amount of freedom in what you can do in the ground phase. You could pick up a speeder, you could get into an AAT or an ATRT. You could pick up an aerial, an enforcer, or an infiltrator. Or you could become a hero and lead your team into battle. And to stay accurate to the era, the only heroes you're able to take control of in Capital Supremacy is Obi-Wan, Chewbacca, Yoda, Anakin, Bosk, Count Dooku, Grievous, and Maul. I've also heard somewhere that in April we'll be getting Naboo and Tatooine for Capital Supremacy. So not only is this a staying game mode, but it's also getting more variety. Think fuck. But in the words of Billy Mays, but wait, there's more. Now, as I previously mentioned, the infiltrators have dropped with this update and they are a fucking riot. For the most part, they both have features that function as expected, but there are a few abilities that were a surprise to me and maybe a surprise to you as well. Starting off with the ARC Trooper's helmet scan, it's better than how I pictured it because you don't have a big ass filter taking up the whole screen and you can clearly see where they are during pulses, unlike the Commando droid. And as I predicted in my other video with dual pistols, you can't ADS with them, but double the fire rate, plus feeling like a badass, what more could you ask for? Some shit I really didn't expect is that you can deadass take on tanks with these. I'm not joking, it's real. And since I've talked about the ARC Trooper's pistol, the Commando droid's E5 is more powerful than the default E5 for the assault, but to balance this, the rate of fire is slower, so it would be smart not to take on a horde of enemies from the front and try to find a flank. Power Blast isn't as overpowered as you may believe. It's hard to get shots off from close to mid-range, but it's a deadly sniper alternative. In tight corridors of ships, I wouldn't recommend using it unless the target is a good distance from you. But if you're in a big open landscape, I just go fucking wild with it, my guy. The electric trap doesn't work at all as how I imagined it would when I first heard about it. It may seem like Lando's shock trap when you throw it, but the effects are completely different in that it sits everyone in its radius the fuck down in different directions so you can shoot them trying to get up like some kind of disrespectful little asshole. A smoke grenade also works differently from how I pictured it, as the way the droid deploys it is like he's trying to ninja vanish. And something that I was hoping for is that the smoke is actually thick enough so you cannot see through it, which is it's really sad for Lando. Finally, we have the Vibro Sword, which I predicted to be similar to Captain Phasma's Staff Strikes, only they're better than Phasma's Staff Strikes. The sword strikes are fast and very deadly, and with 3 of them in a very short cooldown, you can kill basic infantry and almost kill an infiltrator. In the event you don't kill your target, the 3rd strike will knock your target on your ass so you can finish the job. This, in tandem with the retarded range you can lunge with the Commando droid, is just a very good choice to sneak behind enemy lines with. Count Dooku's pajamas are literally the only new skin DICE added in the update, so if you ever wanted to be Dooku and say, I'm too old for this shit, then look no further. Exquisite pajamas are here, for some reason. This really doesn't need to be mentioned at all, but, it's there. It has good detail on it, but I don't care for it. I would much rather be wearing his dark ritual skin. I'm still waiting on Luke's Bespin skin, guys. You added fucking pajamas over this. Okay, DICE. Moving on to something people would actually care about is lightsaber combat. There's a good amount of stuff to unpack, so let's get on it. Keep in mind, I have been playing this since the update dropped, and I haven't seen all the changes yet, so be prepared for that. The first change is that you no longer stagger when you attack someone who is blocking, and you keep striking like a husband from the 50s. Now, instead of relying on them to stagger after hitting you, you'll have to be fast and get behind them. They gave the stamina bar more of a role by making lightsaber heroes unable to attack without stamina. I always wondered why they had a stamina bar if you can keep attacking with it depleted, and after a year, hey, they finally did that. Good on you, DICE. Anakin Skywalker also got a slight rework in that his pole dominance and heroic might are now switched. And heroic might can be used immediately, and to increase the radius of heroic might, you have to hold the triggers, bumpers, whatever the fuck system you're on, so that it can grow. or keys if you're on fucking PC. I didn't expect this change at all, and it was a little confusing at first, but I like it, so I guess it evens out. Something they removed was stamina being lost after pressing and holding block, and I always thought that was retarded and didn't need to be there, like a certain someone's sleepwear, and they took it out. It really makes you wonder why it was there at all, like, it's just, what the fuck. Marching on, after being hit by a lightsaber, players will not be able to be staggered by the lightsaber attack for 0.8 seconds, which is retarded because they already took out staggering. I could have read that wrong, but right now it doesn't seem all that important. I don't know. If you know what that means, let me know in the comments. So next, if you're a Darth Maul main, prepare to start crying because they now added more stamina costs to Darth Maul attacks. I do play Darth Maul a regular amount though, and I haven't noticed a difference in stamina reduction when attacking, so, well, I guess you can just put your Kleenex away. And the last thing I have for lightsaber heroes is that Rey's Insight and Darth Vader's Focused Rage ability now reduce half your stamina bar when activated. This is one of the changes that hasn't been added yet, and I don't know when it's coming, so savor their abilities until then. I really don't mind this change too much, though, because now you can't just pop it off like painkillers, and now you have to think when the best time is to use it during combat, or just pop it off right before you walk into a room, your house. And the last piece of news or information I can give you right now is about Clone Commandos. As you may or may not know, the Clone Commandos were originally supposed to be the infiltrator unit for the Republic, but I guess they wouldn't have been done in time, so the ARC Trooper took their place instead. Data miners have also found the weapon the Commandos use, and they may be closer than we realize, and I could be wrong by saying this, but the DICE team doesn't want to put in Commandos in an entirely new class. Even if they would, who would you think they put on the Separatist side? Droidekas? No. To be 100% honest, those things would probably be a bitch to fight, and since launch, I've lost my interest in playing them. I did hear somewhere that the Commandos would take place of the Wookiees on all prequel maps except Kashyyyk, and please don't hold me to like any of this segment. I didn't write it down and I forgot where I heard it from. I forgot how it was stated, so if it doesn't happen, don't get upset, but if it does, I mean, shit, free Commandos. And that's about it for this episode, video, whatever the fuck. I love how, despite the poor reception, DICE has stuck with Battlefront 2 and added more content for players who stayed. Like, I don't know. Something I'll mention for future reference, though, that's completely off topic, is that money for me is tight right now, and I was only able to buy myself a month of PS Plus, so after a few days in April, I might not be able to play games like Titanfall 2 or Battlefront, so I'll try to continue to cover Battlefront 2, but it'll most likely be a different game in the background. You know, that just means you'll just see a spike of Apex and Siege, and yeah, I have barely played any Burnt Horizon, so I need to get on that game. But with nothing else to say, I have been Jazzy P, and I'd like to thank you personally for watching the video. It really means so much that my voice has been heard by someone. I don't know, I'm kind of getting tired, but if you want to support this dumpster fire, then do all the supporty stuff, and I'm gonna go take a nap. Goodbye.
Always!